All right, here we go. I'm trying to keep the videos kind of short and sweet, even though you know I talk too much. Okay, so there's that. All right, what was I doing now? Let's see. I can zoom in on this a little bit better here. All right, I think that's a little bit better. More better, as we say. All right, let's see. So here's that cap and trade thing I was telling. Cap and trade thing. So I'll send this to you guys. Just a couple things here. Electrostatic precipitator. So there's the charge plates. When the particulate matter comes in, it becomes charged, sticks together, and it's just easier to take out. And so if it sticks together, it's too big to keep continuing through, and then it's cleaner. Fabric filter. So there's another. It's very simple. You have a filter, dirty air hits it, particles get stuck, some get through, but bigger ones don't, and then, you know, it blocks it, so it's cleaner coming out. So this picture too, you got dirty gas coming in, and then you have all those filters, and then clean comes out. Baghouse filter is another phrase for that. Where's my thing? Okay. All right, so full screen. Oh. Whoa, 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 whoa. All right. How am I going to do this? Oh, I should be able to do that. All right. Anyways. Sorry, guys. Working through this. No. No. That's not what I want. Yeah. All right. So maybe I might have to. All right. So we did talk about this a little bit. Let me see where I'm at here. Yeah, all right. So, I should be able, there we go. All right. All right. Yeah, sorry. I'm like thinking out loud with you right here on the video. So pollution control measures, we talked about a little bit of that. Dang it. Ways to address, avoid it in the first place, use cleaner fuel, increase efficiency, control pollutants after combustion. I know we talked about this in class, so I'm going to go a little fast here. I just talked about some of these here. Fluidized bed combustion, that's basically where you pound the coal into a powder and it just burns a little bit better. And then you also have calcium carbonate next to this or near where that combustion occurs. So the gas is given off will react with that calcium carbonate. I have it right here. The sulfur dioxide reacts with calcium carbonate and you get basically calcium sulfate, which is a solid. Now you have to deal with that, but it's not sulfur dioxide going into the air, creating acid rain and all that jazz. We talked about these. Scrubber. So there's good pick. No? Okay. I can do it here. Good picture of the scrubber there. Basically, you got dirty air coming in, and if it's a wet scrubber, it just mists it. It gets it very wet. Some of that wet, not some of it, but some of the particulate matter gets wet, and it comes down here, and it travels through. It says sludge removal, so you can remove that. And basically, if you keep hitting it with multiple levels of water, all of that particulate matter will get scrubbed out of it, and then the cleaner air will come out. So that's like the quick gist of a scrubber. Okay. All right. We talked a little bit about this. I think we talked about I think it was Mexico City that had every other day people could drive or something like that. We talked about that right here. Every other day use or charger user fees for roads during heavy commute time. So again, I'm trying to keep these videos short and sweet, and I know we did talk a little bit about this. I'm going to skip through this. This is technically not in the curriculum, but, I had to do some book work on it anyway, so hopefully you learned a little bit about it. I mean, it's bad, but the details of what causes it, the chlorine and the specific UVC and, but it's stabilizing at least, and generally decreasing, right, is what it says from 1970 to 2016, but it's, look for a sharp decrease, and then Actually, look at there. Went back down a little bit. But anyways, that's the ozone, stratospheric ozone. Okay, indoor air pollution, major problem in developing countries because they burn biomass, 90%. More than 50%. That's the kind of stuff that makes me crazy. But a lot of these developing countries, they don't have another option, right? So that's kind of the conundrum here. They need to cook, right? They need heat. So anyways, indoor air pollution in developed countries, some source of indoor, typical home, United States, may contain a variety of chemical compounds, and this is, leads to the sick building syndrome, right? If you were in a workplace, you got all these VOCs. This guy's straight up smoking in his house. People used to do it, which is wild. Not really anymore, obviously. I hope not. Lead. What else we have here? Asbestos in the tile, radon in the basement. You have carbon monoxide from any furnace or boiler. You got particulate matter from biomass, which is wood, right? If you have a wood stove in your house. And then you have all types of VOCs from cleaning products. And then again, back to the furniture, carpet, insulation, pressed wood, all this synthetic stuff. If you have all real wood in your house, then that's much better than fake, like laminate. Like if you have granite countertops, theoretically are better for the air quality than laminate. I don't know if you necessarily know the difference, but laminate is just like a thin plastic layer that goes over the actual wood that's used, or maybe not even wood, could be just pressed wood, or what's the word I'm looking for? Not sheetrock, plywood, right? So you have plywood, and then you put the laminate over the top. But anyways, just in our houses that we live in, you and me, we have these things. Let's see. Work with me. And then the curriculum specifically talks about radon, asbestos, carbon monoxide. So I got some notes here. Let me just make sure I'm hitting everything here. Let's see. So asbestos, long, thin fibrous silicate. Yes. Basically, if it's used, but it's not disturbed, it's not so bad, because it isn't dispersed through the air and you're not breathing it in. But at the same time, if it's in materials in older buildings and people know about it, then they really should, take it out. And it's got to be very carefully removed, and things need to be shut down, sealed, plastic taped to the ceiling, walls, floor, like full body suits. It's bad news. But if it's not disturbed, it theoretically shouldn't harm us. And the reason it was used is because it is a mineral and it has really good insulating properties. So this is why older buildings, they just didn't know, right? And that's kind of how things work sometimes. It just takes years or time, generations to figure things out. So anyways, asbestos, that's a big problem. Radon is a problem. If you see all the cracks in your foundation and basement, then you really shouldn't have any of it in your house, or very little. You have to get your house tested, at least in New York State, for that. Before you sell it or buy it, it needs to be below a certain level, which is a good thing. And then again, CO, VOCs. Let's see. Yeah, if you look at this here, we're in a moderate, depending on where you live, and high. I'll zoom in here a little bit. We're up there, obviously, where we live. But, a good chunk of the southern part in New York is high concentration of radon. And low, Hawaii, and down here, you can obviously read this. But I found that interesting, and it's because of the naturally occurring radon from rocks, and, they just happen to be pockets of radon in those areas because of the geology. So that's pretty cool. Or interesting. I don't know about cool. But, so anyways, yeah, radon is a problem in certain areas more than others, obviously. Let's see, what else do I have in here? I have about 21,000 people each year die from radon-induced lung cancer. Second leading cause after smoking. That's crazy. I didn't know that, obviously. How would I, until I researched and found these notes? So, you know, not having a super airtight basement, right? Some ventilation, but also sealing cracks in the floors and foundation and stuff is a big one. And then VOCs is the last thing I have in my notes here before talking about sick building syndrome a little bit. I kind of talked about it already. I think you get the gist of that. It's anything that produces vapor that has organic molecules, so carbon in it, and that could be a cleaning product, could be a piece of furniture, you know, it could be cologne, whatever. You know, there's like hundreds of thousands of organic compounds. But building materials, paints, glues, home products, let's see, pressed wood, that's a big one because pressed wood's a lot cheaper. It kind of looks like wood, so people buy that. Again, that new car smell, new home smell. If you go to a new home with all new stuff, that's not good. That's VOCs. Carpets, synthetic carpets. That's another big one. Obviously, we have carpet, wall-to-wall carpet all over the place. Let's say, or up in, you know, upstairs or bedrooms are. You know, you want to breathe that in when you're sleeping? I don't. So, you know. Anyways, that's VOC, and I think that's the last slide here, isn't it? Yeah. So what do I have? Sick building syndrome. I think you're good with that. I mean, I can show you my chicken scratch here. You know, in my notes to myself on the top, this is kind of how I do things. I'm not going to read this to you because we've talked about it. It was part of the homework. You had to outline. I did, you know, look at some of those, you know, but I just did what you did. I went to the book, looked this up because this is part of the sick building syndrome. So anyways, there's your 4 identified reasons: inadequate ventilation, chemical contamination, that's your VOCs, chemical contamination from outdoor, the exhaust, biological contamination, molds, pollen, bacteria, like in that article. And then the last thing in the book was noise pollution, which you know, and I don't know if you can see that. Can you see that? Yeah, it's down here. My noise pollution. Anyways, you know, basically it says sound at levels high enough to cause physiological stress and hearing loss. That could be for us or animals. Effects on animals. I have stress, masking sounds they use to communicate or hunt, damaged hearing, changes to migratory routes. You know, so obviously noise pollution, but that's very minimal compared to everything we just learned and talked about. Let me see what else I got here. And that's it. All right. So I just felt like I needed to talk to you guys a little bit about this stuff, and because I didn't really teach it yet, you know, because we are not in school. You got your free response due tomorrow. You got multiple choice due Thursday. I probably will use the AP Classroom to put free response for Unit 7 up. Maybe due Thursday or Friday. I'll get to that today or tomorrow. But I do want to do a Google Meet to maybe go over those free response kind of live tomorrow, or the multiple choice on Thursday, or both. I don't know. It's kind of tricky for me a little bit here, and I don't know about you guys at home, but you know, I got my daughter and my wife has work she needs to do, and you know, we're trying to figure everything out. I'm sure you and your families are as well. So I don't know how much time I'll have to do Google Meet like 2 days in a row, but you know, we'll keep it short, hopefully, like 10-15 minutes. You know, I think 15 minutes is probably going to be good for me if I'm going fast. But I think it would be good to do a Google Meet. You know, we could see each other through the interwebs here, talk a little bit. So hope you guys are doing well. I miss class. I miss school. So hope everyone's good. All right. I'll talk to you later.